Hello everybody, my name's Rob with another Photoshop tutorial. It's been quite a while, I know, but I've seen something on YouTube, something similar to what you can see here. So I thought it looked quite nice, and you can use the shape kind of layer for a lot of different things. So let's get straight in. I'm just going to hide um, all these, and I'm going to leave the A4 document open. So it's just a standard A4 document in white. And the first thing we're going to do is create a new layer by clicking on the new layer icon, and we're going to create the shape using the shape icon here, and it's a rounded rectangular tool. We're going to use that, and we're going to click and drag a rectangle somewhere like that, and if you let go it will fill with the color that's selected at the top, in this case black. The radius was at 40 pixels, which will change how sharp the corners are. You can put that to whatever you want. And on the layers palette now, you will see that it's a kind of it's got its own mask, but we want this to be a normal regular layer. So I'm going to right click inside the layer and rasterize a layer, and now it's just a normal layer. So the first thing we're going to do is press in Control Alt and T, Command Option T on a Mac. We're going to drag a new shape, so click on the shape and drag a new one, and holding the shift key to keep it somewhere close, and press enter. As you can see now, each shape is on its own layer, and now because we done that with them keys held down, if we add the shift key, so pressing shift, control, alt and T, every time we press T now it creates a new shape. Very nice. As you can see, it's off to one side a bit, so I'm just going to select all these layers by clicking on the top one and shift clicking on the first one, and pressing V I can move them over a bit, but I'm going to free transform it to just squash them up a little bit to give it a nice gap all the way around. So press on the tick, and now with them selected, I'm going to hold down the Alt or Option key and make a copy. So press shift as well again to constrain it, and when it snaps to the top layer of rectangles, it will snap to them, and that's what you want to do to keep it aligned up nicely. So when it snaps, let go, and then holding your shift key, just bring it down with the down arrow key 3 times to keep the gaps very nice. And now we have 2 layers. We can just press Alt or Option and drag another copy. So let it snap into position. Then pressing Shift, 1, 2, 3. And now what we can do, if we don't want to do that all the time, we can press on the top layer, shift click on the first shape layer, and press Alt or Option. We can make another copy. Again, pressing shift. 1, 2, 3. And I'm just gonna select the last few. Hold shift, and 1, 2, 3. Very good. I'm just gonna select all now. Select all the shape layers by clicking on the top one, shift clicking on the bottom one. I'm just gonna press V, and I'm just gonna move them up so they're somewhere in the middle like that. Very nice. And we've done that very quickly. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to, with all the layers selected, we're going to right click inside, and we're going to merge the layers all together. So now each shape is together on its own layer. Very nice. And the first thing we're going to do next is we're going to bring in a new picture, which I already have open here. So I'm going to press V, and I'm going to move this into my document. I'm just going to position it somewhere up here, somewhere there. And the next thing I'm going to do is I want to clip this layer to the layer beneath. So by holding the Alt or Option key and hovering your cursor between the two layers, it changes into kind of two circles overlapping, and then when they've changed, when the cursor's changed, if you click, it will clip to that layer. Very cool. Now I'm going to add a layer mask and make a selection with the rectangular marquee tool. I'm going to drag a selection round these 9 shapes at the bottom right hand corner, and I'm going to fill that with black. Option or Alt and backspace or delete depending on Windows or Mac to fill it with black. And I'm going to copy this mask, so Control D to deselect, and I'm going to copy this mask by clicking on the mask, pressing Alt, dragging it down to the layer below, and now we have this gap in the corner. Very cool. I'm going to write some text here, so with the text tool, and I'm going to just type something like my tube. Very original, I know. And click on the tick to commit those changes. And on the YouTube channel, the tube has a kind of rounded rectangular shape around it, so let's add that. So let's use the same tool as before. Let's click and draw a shape round, holding the spacebar to reposition the whole selection. Let go, it will fill with black. If you double click on this black box on the shape layer, you can change the color. Let's change it to a nice red, like the YouTube channel. And if we drag this underneath the text layer, we've created the my tube symbol. And the next thing we're going to do is click on the layer underneath with the picture on. We're going to select the mask with your rectangular marquee tool. We're going to make a selection up here somewhere. Hold the space to reposition the selection if it's not quite in the right place. Option or Alt, backspace or delete to mask it on the same mask as we used before. And with the same selection active, if you click on the mask below it, we can then Option, Alt or backspace and delete to do the same thing to the mask below. So Control D to deselect, and we're going to put some text in here, which I already have ready. It's a quick project. I've seen it on YouTube. I know that was very quick, but just run through the video again if you're not sure of anything. Enjoy. Hope you've learned something. My name's Rob. See you next time.